but it has been a little difficult for other players to replicate. Showmaker, definitely one of the players I expect to be able to replicate it, but he's going to go for the Syndra instead, one of his classic picks.
It's very good in the lane against the Annie as well.
Yeah. And can pick up and throw tippers.
Yes.
Kha'Zix's coming through for Kanavi, and then the blind Gnar. Will Shiwu look to punish this blind Gnar with something in the form of counter pick? We'll see. And the Kha'Zix's coming through. Bit of an interesting one, not something we've seen a ton of recently. Okay, we're getting the Kennen. We did see this matchup recently not go well for the Kennen, but I think that was a little bit down to execution.
Yeah, that was actually Rich that did play that. And it's just going to be his Ambessa instead.
Okay, it feels a little bit like D+ are going for some classics in the solo lanes. You know, the Shiwu Ambessa, the Showmaker, Syndra. I think kind of only. I think one of the things is you kind of have to wait for Yunara to stack up the passive and join you in the trades. And that was kind of just like Korea, like, no, I'll 1v2.
Maybe he just really wanted to put on a lot of pressure so that Nocturne can get some stuff done, but either way.
No fear.
Lucid is here. The stun is going to land, and he's got red buff. I think Zeka, with the shield.
Lucid has no tether, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just going to TP back to the lane, so... I mean, they got his TP.
Wait, look how slow it is. It looks so funny. Hello! Stunned again.
Well. Very interesting start to this game.
Yeah, quite an opportunistic sort of play, but Lucid did actually invade there, so Kanavi is now having to counteract it. Now finds Lucid here. Sorry, Lucid finds Kanavi. Or go for a bot gank.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if this can line up. Lots of damage already done into Smash and Career, and now they're being very aggressive. Smash might just die to the bottom lane, but here comes Kanavi, picks up the first blood, just like game number 1.
So I think the angle might be tough.
Okay, we got Meganar coming in here, but actually, she was going in with his ult, and now Zeus doesn't really have any more CDs, and in the 1v1, ooh. She actually got to back off of that, maybe thinking that Kanavi was there, but Kanavi's fighting with Lucid. So
I think he's concerned maybe about rotation of cooldowns.
Yeah, that's just going to be the end of Lucid here. He is going to flash and just die. Kanavi picks up the kill. And that's number 2 for Kanavi. And now they're just being bullied under the turret down here. Zeka is going to take 2 turret shots, but I think they're okay with that. And Skooma picks up the 1. And they're just corralled against the wall. There's nothing they can do. Timber's even going to get in there and help out. And eventually, Kanavi picks up kill number 3 and dies to the turret.
That's perfect. You know, the value of Tibbers there, like, yeah, I'm doing stuff, but I could do more. Give me a real carry for game 2.
Yeah, no.
You know, we're lucky it's not a best of 5. Game 3 would be on like Blue Cane or something.
Maybe we're not so lucky after all. I'd love to see that as... Yeah, now Kanavi just gets to do this.
You just walking between little pockets of vision. He just shows up, jump scare, you dead. TP coming bot. This is the Syndra, by the way.
Yeah. Showmaker doesn't have flash, but he's trying to set up a play here onto the support. And Delight is going to go down. They give that kill over to Smash, and they're continuing with the Wild Growth. Guma trying to take the trade against that. Not going to work out for him. Career, essentially, you know, to get that deep ward in. Showmaker is... he doesn't have flash, so eventually, if you're going to walk up into the lane at all, you're just going to die, and that's exactly what happens. Gets flashed on by Annie.
Now with that spike as well, definitely an angle to find the all-in. If he doesn't get smashed into the wall.
Been enjoying that so far, as that's a nice hop away from Zeus. Good expectation of that play.
I think you're just dead now. I think Kanavi says, yep, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a control ward in the brush. She does have flash, and we'll see if he can utilize that to get away. Lots of dashes here on the Ambessa. Flash on in! And Kanavi Kanavi just executes him. Shiu doesn't even bother to flash. Is now down in the bottom lane. They're trying to make this Nocturne work. A smash is going to tank up the turret, but now Zeka is here, and he will be able to trade one back. Unfortunately, Delight does get the kill, but still at least a 1-for-1.
His passive does a very similar thing, right?
Hello. Here, let me just Q you a couple times, and yeah, Shiu doesn't get to play the game. Not very fun for him. Lucid is nearby, though, as Zeka is like, yeah, oh, nice dodge on that. That was insane from Zeka. It's a nice little sidestep, and now Career see his life flash before his eyes. 1Q, the Wild Growth, he's desperately trying to get away, and he will, but has to use quite a lot and doesn't have a health bar.
Yeah, Smash getting chunked out a bit. Oh.
All right, going on in here, a bit of an all-in on Naguma. The fear does come through, but it cannot follow. And guess who's here again? Kanavi is like, I can go in at the press of a button. He's not going to do it, though. Actually takes a bunch of damage here from Smash, who's trying.
But it's a Gnar who can just hop over the wall, and they don't have the ult available.
All right, bit of a trade in mid. The bubble will be dodged, but barrier has to be used. Smash is going in with this, has the red buff and the shield.
Kanavi's there.
7 seconds away, he just disappears, blows up in the blink of an eye. And now Zeus wants it down in the bottom lane, is going for a bit of an all-in. Shiu gonna have to back away from that. Yeah, it's kind of insane what this Fed Kazakhs can do, and I think he's making POM votes very easy at this point in time. Very overextended, but Kanavi says, this is my comfort zone. I will overextend and get another kill. See you on the flank, though, is going to pick up one, gets over the tidal wave, gets another for the team. Zeus hopping on in, he wants a kill. Is going to find himself face-to-face with Smash, and maybe goes a bit over-aggressive himself. Does have the Mega Gnar on the way, though. And Kanavi's still here. Shiu, not like this! As he's kind of running out of dashes, and eventually, with no flash, he... dodges the house and gets away! And Wild Growth gets used for nothing. But he gets away. By the way, meanwhile, in live, Lucid is dying.
Oh my god.
He just disappears as well. 8-1, and the one death was to a turret.
Zeka for the shockwave game 1.
Yeah.
Sent up the jungler.
Huge.
Oh.
All right, well, Guma's in a lot of trouble. It's not going to be him. I'll tell you that.
Speaking of outplayed, look how much...
Okay, they think they can kill Kanavi. We'll see if they can. Looks like maybe they can. Yes, they can. Showmaker does pick up a lot of gold.
That's the thing with Kazakhs, right? This Kazakhs is monster fed, but in like a tight 5v5, there are situations where he doesn't get value.
The burst from the Corki is just insane.
Yeah, that's my concern, is that, you know, as much as the Kazakhs is a lot of the gold, a 4-1.
4-1 is actually just insane. Maybe they get a nice little pick here. It's a lot of damage at least.
Approach, Kanavi's back to full HP.
Yeah, the damage they have on this dragon as well. I mean, it really doesn't give you a lot of breathing room or a lot of time. They're going to try to go in on Naguma, but immediately the peel is there with the tidal wave. And Zeus in the front is going to find 3. Doesn't knock him into the wall, but again, the damage is done. They kill the jungler, they get the Mountain Soul, and now they're just going to take Showmaker, who is desperately trying to contest in mid, and one by one the dominoes fall.
I think this game is as good as done. We'll see. The Nocturne dies in and just gets exploded. Nothing to be done there. And then Kanavi doing so much damage on the flank. Zeus gets this huge ult that, again, it doesn't connect to the wall, but it just essentially separates the fight. We'll see Zeka flash in to kill the Syndra, and it's just over. And yes, like, who cares about any gold? You just stun people.
Yeah, you just press your tippers. Okay, job done. And now Guma gets to go forward, and the Kazakhs hasn't even joined. Lucid gonna send one last one for the social media, and that's about it for him. And he's just gonna, he's like trying to grab the wave. He's like, nah, never mind. HLE, really, it was just all done except a clean victory in this one, and it looks like they might just get that clean victory As another stun is going to come out into the bubble. And Xiyu does not get to play the game once again. And ooh, the damage from the big one straight into Showmaker's back. And just like that, they can just siege. They have the Baron buff. It's so comfortable here for Humble8 Esports. And it is looking like an actual clean 2-0. Not much to see here. A little bit in game one, but that was about it. As HLE going to dominate D plus Kia here in this series, 2-0. And they're not even done yet. Is Kanavi going to give a kill over to Smash and call it a day?